Today's show is brought to you by Health Diagnostic Laboratory, Inc.
Welcome back to the broadcast. We're back with our friends from the Health Diagnostic Labs. Boomer is back along with Suzanne and Carla to talk about making healthy eating choices during the upcoming holidays. It's never too soon to start learning some new habits. Hi, guys. Thanks for being here.
Hi.
Okay, so as we start approaching the eating time of year, like let's just not call it holidays, let's call it what it is, right? Time to eat. There are certain things to look for, not just at the grocery store, how we make our own choices, but at restaurants. So give us kind of a rundown of tips.
Well, at restaurants, most places are going to really try to pile on the carbohydrates and starches to fill you up.
For less money.
For less money,
yeah,
right.
It costs them less. They'll charge you the same, but it'll cost them less, right?
So those are things that you really want to be cautious of because that is going to be a lot more calories. So looking for clue words on the menu that are going to be more protein and vegetables is going to be more health conscious.
Okay. And if you're at a restaurant, is there something you want to look for instance, like if something is grilled, obviously better than fried, but sautéed, oven roasted, are there certain things that we should stay away from? Certain things that we
Probably
like?
so. Typically, we were kind of talking about this before we aired, but when you open up the menu at the restaurant, it's designed for your eye to go to the most expensive item on the menu. The first thing you're presented with is the wine list because that's a big moneymaker for the restaurants. But then when you open up the food menu, your eye goes to the thing that's going to be the biggest profit margin for that particular restaurant, right? Well, it may not be the healthiest thing. And to her example, too, the one thing I was talking about were the Brazilian steakhouses, which is great. I've been there myself, but they want to give you free access to the salad bar. Then they want you eating all of the bread and the potatoes and the carbohydrates, and they'll just bring the meat around every once in a while because it's a fixed price, and you're not eating actually what's costing them the most amount of money, right? So. And then in terms of, other restaurant choices too, the type of restaurant that you're at, is it a more healthy option for a restaurant? Is it like there's a few places in Dallas now they're doing kind of the farm fresh idea, the farm to table idea, which is going to be a much better scenario than some of the more mainstream places.
So definitely grilled, oven roasted, sautéed. Check to see if it's sautéed, what it's sautéed in.
Absolutely.
If it's butter, that's probably not your best choice.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay.
Maybe avoid all-you-can-eat places in the first place, so you're not tempted to get your money's worth.
Oh, yeah.
And eat all.
Well, that's a strategy
too.
Always
a problem. No, I was just at a restaurant the other day, and it was Life Kitchen that we were just talking about, and I was really impressed with the portion sizes being so reasonable.
Right.
And that's kind of gotten out of control, hasn't it, with restaurants?
Right. There's actually a whole website that you can look at called Portion Distortion that looks at portion sizes from the 1950s, 1960s compared to today. And it's something like 38 or 40% more than what we used to eat.
As of 2012, I think is what we're talking about. As of 2012 compared to like 1996, the portion sizes on average are 38, nearly 40% larger than they were back then. But again, it's not necessarily the meat and vegetables that are the larger piece, although some places are. But it's going to be the starchy stuff, the stuff that's not very good for us. And like in the house I grew up in, I was taught clean your plate, right? So there you go. You go to a restaurant and you clean your plate. Well, that's not necessarily a good thing.
And a lot of the habits that we learn in restaurants, we carry over at home, right? The portion sizes, go back for seconds, for thirds. So what are some tips at home, especially if we have kids in the house, because we want to teach them good habits, right?
Well, I think going to the grocery store, shop the perimeter rather than the aisles, because the aisles is where a lot of your processed foods are. So if you can do your lean proteins and your vegetables and your fruits, and then your dairy, those types of things are going to be a much healthier option than all of the processed stuff that doesn't have any nutritional value.
Right. Don't they say if you can hunt it, pick it, or grow it, then it's probably okay.
Well, or we also have one of our providers likes to say if it was around 100 years ago or 1,000 years ago, maybe he says, if it was here 1,000 years ago, it's safe to eat.
Right.
And if it wasn't here 1,000 years ago, don't eat it.
Right.
Interesting. And staying with the perimeter at the grocery store. What about when you get your groceries home? Say you've made the best choices that you can possibly make. Understanding, too, that our culture now is so time sensitive. So sometimes, unfortunately, those processed foods, the things that are quick in the packages or frozen foods, that's kind of what we reach for because we're looking to save time. But once we get home, what are some quick things that we can do to make sure that we're preparing the food healthy?
Well, I know being a mother of a small child and working full time, it is difficult. So Sunday is my food prep day, and I know Suzanne does that a lot.
Yeah.
And we do teach our patients that. So you can just kind of grab out of the refrigerator, throw it in a bag, and run out the door for lunch, or dinner's already prepared. You just have to warm it up.
Yeah, and if you're making the healthier meals, you can freeze those, and then it's healthy. This is like, you guys give the best tips to all of your clients. I know they appreciate that. You give them lifestyle tips, how to eat, how to really sort of change what they're doing to get better results the next time they come in to get tested, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay, you can talk to your doctor if you're interested in getting any of the HDL tests. We'll have Dr. Dahl, Boomer, all their colleagues back with us every Tuesday to learn more about how their testing can help you and your family. You can get more information about the Health Diagnostic Laboratory by going to their website. The information is there on your screen along with their phone number. And thanks, guys, for coming in. Appreciate it. We're back with more broadcasts right after this.